This might be a weird video to make, especially in the middle of the streak I got going, but I just thought it would be like a little thing, because I still like making discussions like this. I mean, I could have just made another Until Dawn discussion because of the movie coming out, but
it is Wednesday, my dudes.
I'm gonna wait until it comes out. But hello everyone, my name is Gage, and welcome to the channel. This channel is mainly like there is a lot of gaming related stuff here, but I like to use these videos as a way to kind of explore and experience as much things as I can in life, and record for y'all and make some entertaining videos out of it. And this is something that's been bugging me for a good minute, because as the title suggests, I'm a fan of the Arkham series. I grew up on Batman to some degree. There's still a lot of things that still need to get into. And one of my favorite games out of the Arkham series is Arkham Asylum. I played that like 8 times at some point. There's just some about the original Arkham Asylum that just like I can go back and replay it, and for some reason just the way the game flows, even with its more simplistic design compared to Arkham City or even Arkham Origins, because I haven't played Arkham Knight yet. And while replaying it, there's always something that really nagged me, especially something that's been in the community for a long while, is really the inconsistency with how Harley and Joker's relationship and where it really started. Now, of course, we can just jump this in with Arkham Asylum in general, because we need to be realistic about this. Arkham Asylum, when it was being made by Rocksteady at the time, was kind of just made as a game for Batman fans, by Batman fans. Kind of similar to what Insomniac's been doing with Spider-Man recently, as they show clear passion for the characters, but bring them and developing them to life in ways that are like, okay, this is very faithful, but also doing it in decent, even sometimes new ways. And when Arkham Asylum was made, they weren't really, sure about the whole, like, is it going to be a success or not? Even though there is a little secret room that basically, like, hey, if they could make a sequel, and a lot of that has to do with the amount of files and such you can find on characters that don't even appear in the game, and even characters that were originally supposed to be in the game, like Mr. Freeze, which is kind of relegated to like another file. So you can just kind of like mark like some aspect, especially like the file stuff as non-canon, especially with Hush. The guy doesn't even appear proper until Arkham City. So you can just easily mock that up with how that is. But I still like to think like, okay, if these aren't canon, then what isn't canon as well, with like let's say the tapes or something. Because when it came to looking back through the tapes in Arkham Asylum, the only ones that are kind of contradictory to what we know now is Harley. Or does it seem to be? Now, for anyone that doesn't know, in Arkham Origins, it was actually a reveal that this was the first time that Joker and Harley, or Harleen Quinzel as she formerly went by, actually met for the first time when he was transmitted over to Blackgate. Because right after the Bane fight at the hotel, we go through this whole sequence of Joker and his perspective of like, okay, why did the Bat save me? And we kind of get a little like their own little take of his origin, basically. The sequence itself is phenomenal, because he's clearly, because as we, the audience, we know he's clearly talking about Batman, of like why he would save him, because obviously, again, Gotham Paladin does a really good job of explaining like what Joker's plan really was, like before his mind just started to like change when Batman was like saving him, especially in the context of this scene.
Ooh, the things they've done. You really don't want to know. They deserved death. Just like me.
But after that, his mind starts to really change, and we all know he's talking about him, but Harley thinks he's talking about her, even though he's not intentionally doing that. But given what we know from tape number 2, it's like, isn't this supposed to be their official meeting? Like, why would they kind of retcon that or even write that such? Like, I was actually looking back, like literally just like a minute ago, I was looking back at these at the scene of Harleen and Joker meeting, and then back to tape number 2, where apparently that's when they officially meet. But looking back at tape number 2 with something like this.
Patient interview number 1.
So I'm your first, and I tops. You know what they say, you never forget your first time. I'll try to make it memorable for you.
Oh, you already have. Tell me, why do you do the things you do?
Why do you think I do it?
Fame, notoriety, a desire to stand out from the crowd, a wicked sense of humor.
You're good. How did you figure me out, Doc? I've had doctors poking around in here for years, and no one was as astute, and if you don't mind my saying, beautiful as you.
Really? Ah, you're just playing with me.
Well, you'll never know, will you? Unless...
Unless what? Tell me.
The way they talk sounds oddly like they kind of know each other, like they're bouncing back and forth a little bit. Especially the way Joker reacts to her, like for the very first time apparently. And you're probably wondering, well, how does this correlate? Well, let's go back to the very first tape, and it actually explains that Harley just suddenly has a thing for extreme personalities. You can't deny there's an element of glamour to these super criminals. And her first one apparently was Joker? And so if Joker is her first patient and she says, "Oh, you already have," it sounds like they've met before. It also doesn't help in the first tape. It was in her orientation. She also says this.
Harley and Quinzel, call me Harley. Everyone does.
And then you go back to the scene in Origins.
My name's Harleen. Harleen Quinzel.
What a pretty name. Do your friends call you Harley?
Oh, I don't have a lot of friends.
Well, Harley, you got one now.
They've met! With that in mind, this actually lines up to where their relationship goes from there. Especially now, like, because I know Arkham Shadow came out. I have not played that at all. But I literally just got a short of it showing that when you're in her office, she has a Joker sticker right on top of like where the poster is. It's a tiny little detail, but you can see it. Especially since Arkham Shadow apparently takes place within the following year of Origins. But since we're acknowledging the tapes, I do want to go through the rest here to at least make, okay, like, is this being consistent or not? And this was one I was kind of a little bit iffy on. Let's see.
Care to tell me how these got in my office?
Simple, really? I put them there. Why? You don't like flowers?
I think the guards would be interested to know you've been out of your cell.
Oh, if you really were going to tell, you already would have.
How do you know I haven't already?
Oh, sweet. I like you. I really do. Even your name. Rework it a bit and we get...
Harley Quinn, like the clown. I know, I've heard it before.
It's a name that puts a smile on my face. It makes me think there's someone here I can relate to. Someone who might like to hear my secrets.
Really? Go on.
Not here, my dear. Too many ears and eyes. Come back tonight. I'll be ready for you.
This is the one that really was like, okay, this has got to be a bit inconsistent, right? But if I'm being honest, it just sounds like a bit. Like, it just feels like they're just playing off of each other and they're bouncing off to, their personalities are just bouncing off like crazy. It's like she's not really going out of her way to to be like serious as she is at the beginning of the tape, it comes off more like, oh, it just sounds like an excuse to flirt with him. Especially in Arkham Origins, where it just seems like, oh, like he's clearly like talking about something else, but he's like taking advantage of this situation, but Harley doesn't know that. While here, it's now like, oh, like now I'm gonna pull her right in and see what I can do, because he now knows like, oh, she's into me. He knows that. Just somehow it lines up well, because it doesn't really feel that inconsistent unless you really look into the details of it. Especially now, like if you go back and rewatch the tapes, she's easily manipulated. But in Arkham Origins, especially how it lines up, it now makes more sense of like, oh, it was like a longer process. And again, her first patient, it being Joker, kind of coincidental, don't you think? And when I say, oh, now he's using her, now he's pulling her right in, knowing that like, hey, like she has the hots for me. That's why in the fourth tape,
He's crazy, you know.
Who? Batman?
No, Santa Claus. Of course, Batman. Always Batman. I've seen it in his eyes. Screaming mad stalkers. And dishonest. Hiding his face behind a fright mask. Well, no masks for me. I have nothing to hide. I laugh at the cruel absurdity of the world. But Batman, he's got them all fooled. He's made them think he can make a difference, that he can actually make things better. And the Joker, that is, they all believe it.
The police?
The police, the media, the frickin' Junior Rangers. Every last sack of walking meat in this urban cesspool. Listen, sweets. Batman knows we're all on the same funhouse slide into madness. Why won't he admit it? He's up there in his belfry laughing at us. And the real gag is the miserable liar is allowed to run free while I'm in here.
That's really incisive.
Then you understand, don't you? You know why I do what I have to do. You know Gotham's only real savior is me.
which then finally results into the final tape where she finally becomes Harley Quinn, and we get the infamous.
We've got ourselves a bat.
That's outputting. Say hello to your new and improved Harley Quinn.
So, in conclusion, Arkham Origins didn't really retcon anything. They just added a bit more detail and honestly making a little bit more sense of Harley and Joker's relationship being a bit more, instead of like, oh, just in a shorter period of time, to a bit more longer paced. Not gonna lie, it feels good to put in some B-roll here because it just gives me an excuse to play Arkham Asylum for another time. But like I said, this all just kind of lines up perfectly. I mean, if you even look at the dates, because I didn't even mention this in the original recording. Looking at the dates, dude, she literally like interviews Joker and he starts like pulling in like Harley within like the same week, from March 3rd all the way to March 6th. It isn't until April 1st when she fully becomes Harley Quinn. Again, it's just one of those little details that helps with the whole long-term manipulation, the long-term gaslighting, because like I just find it hard to believe, at least story-wise, that Arkham Harley becomes like the most evil version we positively have ever seen. Yet like apparently like she gets manipulated all the same, like in a short amount of time in Arkham Asylum. When Arkham Origins comes around and adds like, oh, there was actually a little bit more time added onto there. So yeah, I think that really just helps the case a lot more. I really wanted to break this down for a while because there was just something after playing Origins. When I played through Asylum again multiple times, the tapes just sounded, they tied in really well. Even looking back through like on the third tape where I was like, wait, oh now I see what people are talking about. But again, looking back, it's like, oh no, wait, it does line up, because when she says she's heard it before, it just sounds like she's referring to him, especially the way they're playing it off in their second interview. It just seems like all games and whatnot until like you realize, oh, like he's really trying to pull her strings in the third interview. Then interviews 4 and 5 is really the transformation of Harley Quinn. And with all that in mind, it all lines up. There's no real retcon here. But what are y'all's thoughts on it? Was it really a retcon still, or did this did this really change your view on how we look at this one big thing that is considered a plot hole by the community? Let me know in the comments down below. I've been really meaning to like do this for a bit, and I'm just like, you know what? I'm gonna record this. But like I said, let me in the comments, and I hope y'all enjoyed it. Like the video if y'all did, subscribe if y'all want to see more, and comment down below about what y'all thought. And I hope y'all have a good day, good night, wherever y'all are at in the world, because, you know, I want to wish everyone the absolute best. I don't know when next time I'm gonna make a video like this, because I'm more focused on like other gaming related stuff, but I'm still trying to figure out what I'm gonna be doing here. But you know, consistency wise when it comes to gaming related stuff. But you know, like this stuff is fun. You know, I love talking about stuff like this. Maybe in video essay form. Would love to do that. I really don't know, but I still hope y'all enjoyed it. I'll see you on the next one.